Good evening, friends, and welcome to this second class for Eurythmy for a restful sleep. And I do hope that you've had a bit of success in deepening and developing this practice over the last week, and hopefully some more restful nights in preparation for this class tonight. I was thinking about this community of people who come together for this class. And I was thinking how being awake in the night can be, for many people, a lonely experience. And then I was thinking how many dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people in our day are awake at night. And I was feeling this brother sisterhood with all of you, all of us who are together trying to find our way back into the spiritual world when we sleep. And it's kind of nice to feel this camaraderie and build this gentle community with one another with compassionate understanding for what it is. I'd like to reiterate again the words that I said last week about sleep. When we are awake, our spirit being is living in the physical body, and the physical body is permeated by the life body, also the astral body, and by our spirit self. And essentially, we have two parts of ourselves with respect to the sleep phenomenon. The physical etheric form the earthly foundation for being on the earth. And the astral body and the ego are the higher selves that work in our consciousness. And during the day, it's right and rightful that our higher selves, our conscious selves, come and integrate completely with the body. That's why we're living these decades on the earth, to be here. But at night, they need to, they are privileged to slip out of the deed of taking care of this body, living through the body, and go back to the world of the archetypes, the spiritual world out of which we were born, to which we will return, and where we get to spend our night living in the macrocosmic world. True, we don't go all the way back as far as we do between lifetimes, but we go truly into spiritual dimensions and meet the spiritual world at night. Why do we fall asleep? Because our ego and our astral body, our higher selves, have become tired from using the body, and the body is tired of the work of carrying for this conscious self that we are, all that nerve activity that your body has been mediating, where there's a certain part of your body that would just like to be digesting, metabolizing, and unconscious. But while we are alive, it serves our consciousness, but it becomes tired, and our self longs to go back. And as I call that, drink from the fountain of the water of life, touch into the archetypes, back to the place out of which this world was born, and out of which the organs for the body were made. Bring all of that wisdom for the body and for the mind back into the world for the day. And so much of the problems of not sleeping is because, especially and increasingly in our age, we are working the nervous system too hard. And so, as I said last time, the this 4-week session is focusing on releasing us from the nerve sense system before bed at night. And you remember also that I said some people can't sleep well because they never wake up in the day. I mean, they don't really get in and use their bodies. And if that is your journey, you'll need to work more on really being here. And some people don't wake up, and perhaps either as cause or result, their breathing is never particularly harmonized. And so these exercises are designed to make the body much softer, breathing, and rhythmical. And you remember at the end of every lesson, you get the link to watch this video on YouTube, and you also get the PDF. And there I've written several more things about sleep. Also, simple suggestions that we all know about not watching computers late at night, things like that, trying to live a rhythmic life. So please take down the PDF. I haven't made any changes for this week, but the link will be there for you. I began last week with reading a verse for you that Rudolf Steiner wrote. And if you'll remember from last week, you got this verse in your package last week. And in the verse, Rudolf Steiner makes reference to the genius of our life. Because when we go to sleep, we will meet the genius of our lives. He said, that's actually your guardian angel. I'm going to take the liberty to change the word genius in this poem to the angel, because right there, when he was talking about it, he said, I'm really talking about your angel who is always with you. We say, the holiness of sleep. I go to sleep. Till I awaken, my soul will be in the spiritual world, and there will meet the higher being who guides me through this earthly life. Him who is ever in the spiritual world, who hovers above my head. My soul will meet him, even the guiding angel of my life. And when I waken again, this meeting will have been. I shall have felt the wafting of his wings. The wings of my angel will have touched my soul. And so, whatever you are doing in the night, take calm and take confidence that your angel is right there with you, holding you, whether you manage to get over that threshold or not. Your angel is there with you, taking good care of you. And so we'll begin going through the exercises that we did last week, but I'm especially headed towards teaching you the sound M. And once we've really learned that well this week, we'll be able to build the rest of the sequences by next week. But we'll begin as we have last week. First of all, I want you to roll your shoulders. And if you want to do any other stretches that you need to do, because we're trying to throw off the stress that might be in your muscles, your ligaments, your tendons, whatever you need, and roll your shoulders. And those of you who've done enough Eurythmy with me, take advantage of this moment. You recognize that as you roll your shoulders back, you already have a chance to practice backspace, right? As you roll your shoulders back, think of your back, think of the wall behind you, roll them up, and think of your back, release, and again. And with good care to breathe through the movement. Inhale and relax. Yeah. Deep breath. Please allow me to suggest when you breathe, but I never compel you to breathe exactly as I do. But I want to be sure you're sighing well. And now the first exercise that we worked on last week already was this one called laughing and awe. I want you to pick up your shoulders as if you've got tension in them and then Just let it go. And inwardly, a little bit chuckle with yourself. A sudden release. 7 times we're going to get rid of our tension. And go ahead and giggle at yourself. It's important not to take yourself seriously on this one. And you can lean into the backspace a little bit as you open. This is the sound ah. You'll recognize it, but we don't linger it. We don't shape it as carefully as we do other ahs. We just let it go. 2 more. Your lungs getting full and then nicely empty. Last one. There you go. Now I want to take you down all the way into your feet like we did last time. And we did these nice low steps. Remember why? To empty out any tension that you have in your head. And so I invite you again, not to do classical threefold walking, but to go slowly. Put your heel on the floor and then roll your foot down. And as you roll down, exhale deeply. And the other foot. Release. And can you develop a way that you make your breath last as long as it takes to get your whole weight down on that forward foot? And one more. And from the heel, be exhaling, exhale, 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 exhale. Almost limp here. And now backwards. It's organic to touch with the toes first. Please do. And again, from the ball of the foot across the arch to the heel, and you are released. And again, inhale, release. Inhale, release. Come forwards again and joyfully acknowledge it does no good to be clever when you do this exercise. Ah. You're going to give your body over to gravity when you go to sleep at night. Just let it become soft. You're empowering the vegetative process. Backwards. 4 steps. 1. Inhale and the arch, the ball, the arch, the heel. And again, inhale and you are free to move your hands gently as I am, but there's no need to do that. I'm really doing it to demonstrate to you, once more, to demonstrate to you this exhalation process, how I feel it go right through myself. You are so welcome to do that too, but you don't need to. It's fine if you can just do it with your heels, your feet. I do always let my shoulders sink with me. And again, backwards. 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly turn towards the computer And with really quiet energy, watch how we set up the next exercise. You remember how that goes?
Dear
That we
one,
have, are you talking to me?
I am.
Uh-huh.
So when you were walking in the other direction, the
The,
lighting
Mhm.
lost you.
Isn't that something, dear friends? We have, so there we go. Now it'll
Yeah.
find me again. There we
Wonderful.
go.
Thank you.
All right. And we're going to do our little contraction and expansion exercise as we learned last time. So to warm it up, we remember the principle of it that many of you know already. We come in and then we breathe out with expansion. Remember, and there goes the light again in my room. Sun is getting ready to set, and we open and remember that these are the rhythms of life: winter and summer, night and day, and our personal rhythm of self and world, right? But we're going to rhythmicize it as we learned last week. And we'll make our shorts quicker and the long as if we're falling asleep, a huge stretch backwards. So with me again, take one little step forwards and a long relax backwards. Now take two steps forward, one, two, and two long steps back. And three steps forward, and three long steps backward. And four steps, four long, and five steps forward. And of course, you remember these only bring help to you if you do it with your feeling involved. So never let it be mechanical. Pulse, short, long, short, short, long, short, 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 long. Feel it, feel it, feel it. 5. Remember when you go back to feel the sensation of your wings and rest. Okay. One more time. Oh. Feel your backspace. Good. Good. And if your arms are not able to be lifted so high, okay, you can also do this lower. Just make sure that you're feeling it in your chest. Feel your back. Ah, 5. And rest. Breathe. And you can sense in some ways you yourself are like your own angel saying, come now, calm. calm down, calm down. Just you're telling yourself that as you do it. We will remember our angel wings. Cross your arms above your head and spread your wings wide as you lower them behind you and cross them behind you and raise them up again. And we've done this before, and you remember the task on this, that you imagine you are seeing yourself from behind. We're opening the door to sensations of the back, which is the opposite of the sense world. That's the spirit world. And that's the world we want to enter when we go to sleep. So please, now that you know what to do, be sure you're not looking at the computer screen for a few more repetitions. Look through it, around it, use open gaze, but you are busy feeling your backspace. One more time. Good. And now I want to work with you on the sound M. Many of you know it, but not all of you. Going to get my book, risking that the light will get disturbed again, but no, not too much. There we go. Come on, light, settle up. This is my book that I wrote with illustrations for the different sounds. And when you get the PDF, you get the drawings, you get copies of these pictures that I have in my book. This is a picture for the M. I'd like you to take a look at that. This eurythmist is feeling peaceful and green, living in this world of blue energy. Doesn't it look watery to you? And there's something about this gentle flowing that we have in the sound M. With her arms, she is creating the same movement in the air that we create out of our mouths when we speak M. So let's practice that. I'd like you to speak M a few times. And of course, when you speak it in regular life, you don't hold it as long as I want you to speak, hold it here, but we're really savoring that. And it's a beautiful exhalation. Try again, exhaling through it. Inhale. And now, as we do the gesture for the M, we're going to make a forward movement that lasts as long as that exhalation. Allow me to take enough time with you as I teach you this. It's truly one of the most difficult sounds for people to learn. So first you pull your arms back using your shoulder blades. You can sense I'm really working, feeling my backspace. And now I'm going to hold my arms up like this until I reach the point where I have to bend my arms. I want you to try that again. Let's try to set it up well from the beginning. I can get this far forward, and then I have to start unfolding my arms. And I keep moving my hands forward. And at this point, not until I get here, do I have to actually take it all the way into my fingertips. I lay them down. Then I turn around and I have the opposite movement, pulling back. Now it's to that point where my arms are upright and I just keep going back behind me, feeling the backspace. And again, and the important part of this is in the forearms. So as long as you can, let the sensation be in the forearm, and then at the very end, it rolls into the fingertips. And then back again, in the forearm. Now that you have the movement of it, imagine yourself very gentle and green, and a mood of blue, which is very comforting, very gentle. Now, each one of these movements should last as long as a long M with your mouth. Thus, let me say it for you. Those of you who've worked in Eurythmy before, you know you should not speak it. You speak it with your body, but I'll speak this. Now you should be out of breath. Turn your arms. Keep moving until you're out of breath. Inhale and exhale. Exhale through your arms. So you empty yourself. And your whole rhythmic system empties itself. Breathe in and empty yourself, pushing through water. Rest for a moment. Now, to be sure you're on the right track, would you please say M again with your mouth, not your arms? Notice how you need to keep your attention at your periphery the whole way. See how active you are there at the ends of your lips? That's where you need to be active in your forearm. You want to be buzzing in your arms. And again. There you go. Rest a moment. And now we make it the next step of difficult because we're going to move our arms in opposite directions. And as I said, it's one of the most difficult things to teach, although essentially it's a very simple sound. One arm will be coming from behind and the other forwards. And notice I am staying square here to the camera, although this shoulder is back, but I'm not turning into it. I stay always forwards. Inhale and breathe out with your arms. And you notice the movement equivalent of breathing in comes with that little rise at the end. And again. That will belong to your essential new task for this week. But we're going to add a little bit to it still. We're going to walk. We're going to take 4 steps forward as we do that. Each step gets an M cycle, and we go. Second step. Mm. Always soothe yourself. And don't overthink it. Breathe it. And from here, we're going to go back with the sound H. Some of you know it. The rest of us will work it more next week. Ah, and release. And again. Mm. 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 And release. Your back is covered with stars shining into you. Your angel is calling you. One more time. Mm. 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 And with your wings open to the backspace. As you drop your arms, imagine the night sky, the gates are completely open for you. You could fall into the waiting arms of your angel. Now, of course, we're going to include the Eurythmy Hallelujah in this series. And I told you last week that we'll build it a little bit differently than I've taught it to you before. Last week, we worked on building the L's around the heart. So that will be our last exercise for tonight, to build a series of 7 L's. We won't do the whole Hallelujah. 7 L's as if the flowers of the heart are opening, growing like roses, right? So we start here with the tiny L, the sound where we go down. You remember? We go down, contract our energy, lift it like a tiny flower bed, just opening to the light. We'll let it grow a little larger. More petals, more light. And the strength of your heart is growing. And again. And 2 more. And an absolutely fully grown flower of the heart unfolding in the light. And rest. Thank you. For those of us who live here on the West Coast, probably not time to go to sleep yet. And for those of you who are watching in Asia, you probably have a whole day ahead of you still. And I know some of you that I see, you're in Florida. Maybe you're ready to go to bed already. In any case, we wish you a very, very sweet sleep. Michelle, are there any questions that should be answered tonight or asked?
It looks like we are all set. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Wishing you peace and yeah, Good meetings with your guiding angels. Good night, everybody.